really can't afford to take the gamble that maybe it'll suddenly come down a little bit harder, and you know, that's a risk that is not they're not going to take. If it suddenly were to come down significantly, the rain was to come down much more significantly harder, then the track would be awash in no time at all. We have cars spinning off left and right, so they have to do this. There really is no option for the kart officials, even though the people in the stands and us in the commentary booth and the guys in the pits all want this race to get going again as soon as possible.
Yeah, well, we'll just have to be patient. I have to say that the rain on the window doesn't look any worse than it was a few minutes ago. It doesn't look as though it's really still falling much. Sky looks much the same as it has done all afternoon, really. The brightness we had at one point has disappeared, but it doesn't look that bad. The thunderstorms are being forecast. We've actually been watching the weather forecast, and we've been over here in America over the last few days, and there've been various satellite pictures of these thunderous-looking clouds rolling across from the western side of the United States and coming to this part exactly today. It is Memorial Day weekend here in the United States, and an important weekend. But we've got an interview going on with Paul Newman at the moment.
They always say luck is an art, but we've got about 4 planes up there seeding the clouds right now.
All right. I've been trying. I mean, everybody is like hush-hush in your camp. How far can you guys go before you have to stop?
Far.
I'll tell you what. This is like pulling teeth down here today, guys. I'm telling you.
Well, everybody's got their own strategy, and we're entitled to ours.
Yeah, you know, I keep saying DSS is the curse of our job down here because everybody's watching the dish, and as soon as they see somebody from another team come on, it's like, turn up the volume, we got to find out what's going on. And you guys have done a real good job so far of staying hush-hush.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It's in the hands of the gods.
And your 4 pilots.
Yes, and the pilots and Michael, of course.
Well, Paul Newman there, but he doesn't really like giving interviews, particularly at the racetracks anyway, and there you could see that he was fairly tight in terms of what he was going to say about what was happening out there. But his man up front, the Newman Haas team driver, Michael Andretti, and Paul Newman has such a great interest in motorsport, Jeremy, doesn't he? I mean, a very accomplished racer, and I gather, in fact, that he's going to go and do a race again coming up in the next couple of weeks, an IMSA race in one of the Panos cars, isn't it?
Yeah, Monday, I think, actually, in Lime Rock Park, which is his local track in Connecticut. Lakeville, Connecticut. It's only 20 miles or so from Paul's home, and yeah, he's tempted. He's been tempted once again. I know Joanne Woodward, his better half, is not terribly impressed, but Paul's his own man. He makes his own decisions, and his decision is, I want to go racing again.
There's a view of the arch, the famous arch of St. Louis, and you can see the cloud in the background at the moment. That is what everybody is worried about. But I have to say that it hasn't got any worse, and if anything, our window is drying up a little bit, isn't it?
It's still spotting. I just noticed it. When the last time you said that, I agreed with you. This time there's a few spots. I can see a few little flurries here floating around between us and the Mexican broadcasters next door, and it's certainly you can't go racing in these conditions. There's no question about it. We just got to be patient like the rest of them. It is a shame though, because it's so close to being dry, and you know, I wish we could get going because we've got a heck of a race on our hands, and it would be just a travesty if it were to end under these circumstances. I'm trying to figure out, Ben, how far Michael can go before he needs to make a pit stop. I reckon since he came in on lap 109, we're now on lap 165. So what's that, sort of 56 laps or so that he's done? You could probably run 60 under green. So certainly there's a long way he can go yet. He's probably only done about 18 or 19 laps of green flag racing since he made that pit stop. He can probably do a couple of laps under yellow, so he can probably do another 30 or 40 laps in these conditions under yellow, certainly, and even when they go green, probably another 10 or 15. So we'll see how it plays out, but certainly he'll be his eyes are on the sky at the moment, aren't they?
Well, next week, of course, we've got another oval track coming up. Just 7 days away, the Milwaukee Mile is one of the oldest racetracks on the IndyCar calendar, and one of the most spectacular normally as well. So another oval track race for these guys, and in fact, it's not too far away. It's a bit further up in Illinois as we go up past Chicago and to Milwaukee for another great race. Michael Andretti took the win there last year, and you can join us on Eurosport. We'll be live, we'll be there, and we'll be bringing you all the action from Milwaukee. But we're concentrating still on the race here at Gateway at the moment, with Michael Andretti leading everybody around. Vassar in second place, Zanardi third, and Greg Moore in fourth. Still looking towards the weather, really, to guide us as to what's going to happen next here. Andre Ribeiro in the pack as well at the moment, and of course he's running fairly consistently in this race. He's down in 10th position at the moment.
Yeah, he's been running pretty respectably. He and his teammate Adrian Fernandez right behind him there. They've been virtually nose to tail the entire day, and both running very competitive indeed. Certainly they were running right with Michael Andretti in the early stages of this race, and as I said earlier on, I think it's slightly curious that they're not ahead of Alonso Jr., because certainly on the last pit stop, Alonso Jr. appeared to stall the car, certainly had a problem getting going after his pit stop, and seemed to drop behind him. And then when they reset the field to make up for that problem with the pit entry sign, they waved, they tried to reposition the cars as they should have been before the yellow, but I think they're a bit kind there to Alonso Jr. in particular. But still, the good news is for Steve Horner-Lola's running fairly well. Of course, bad news this week, of course, well, interesting news, let's say, that the company actually went into receivership, or into administration, I think is the correct terminology in England, Lola Cars. It's still trading, and there's a lot of optimism there that the company will be up and running again in the very near future in full flight, so to speak. The administrator in charge is very positive indeed.
Well, that's right. We were really disappointed. Mark went out early. He started quite a ways back, but he had a really good race car. He was running well. He was moving right through the field. So we're very disappointed for all the Motorola folks, but we're thrilled to see the crowd out here today, and great run. Mauricio's running well, and we're hoping we'll go green here in a few minutes and run to the finish. We've got a good car with Mauricio, and we're very excited about it.
And you're not going to tell me when you're going to have to pit either, are you?
Not a chance.
Well, nobody likes me today. I'll tell you what, come on over here real quick, because I just happened to see the man I've wanted to talk to. And this is a good sight, Scott Pruett. I'm glad to see you standing and being able to talk to me, because that was one wicked crash.
That was a big hit. I think that says a lot about CART and their safety, and you know how they really work on the cars. And it's unfortunate for us. I mean, the Brahma guys are doing a great job. Our pit stops are right on real quick. We were fighting the brake pedal in traffic. It just kept going down and going down and going down. And I was pumping it, and just got in there and went for the brake pedal. And just went right to the floor. And I thought I might be able to make it around, but just got down in there and just popped out from underneath me.
Yeah, I thought for a second something broke, because it stepped right out on you.
No, I just, just going in there, typically just get on the brakes a little bit and get the car woed and then get down at the bottom, and tried to do that, and it just came around on me. And I was just going, whoa, 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 and just slipped out and took a shot. That was a big shot.
Yeah, it was. Hey, the safety, though, of these cars. We've talked about it before. Let's talk about it again. That sometimes you don't walk away from those in other forms of racing. This one, you did.
It says a lot. I don't know how many G's we pulled, but it was a lot. And now with this weather, it's really unfortunate. I mean, if we were just going to hang in there for a little bit, and we'll keep at it in the points race and points championship, and hopefully we can come back in Milwaukee.
Well, as I said, it's great to talk to you. We'll see you in Milwaukee.
Thank you.
Jan?
Well, Marty, something you can do in the rain, obviously, is play football, but you can't go and drive race cars in the rain. Joe Montana, obviously involved with Target Team Ganassi. You guys right now are running second and third. We know that Michael needs fuel. Obviously, you got to be pretty excited, considering that qualifying didn't go too well.
Well, definitely. We're excited to be in this position. We like to get the race going, because we've actually been outrunning Michael most of the time. So it'd be interesting, because Michael gets tough when he's in the lead. So I like to see the guys at least finish it out there on the track, whether we win it or lose it. Everybody, that way we can answer a lot of questions. Our guys at least have a shot at it.
Now, what is your role here? You have a headset on. You're up in the timing stand. What is your active role during the race?
I'm a spectator. I'm just having fun with it. I'm just still learning, so it's just been a lot of fun, and listening to what they're doing and talking about and the decisions made. But basically, I leave all that to Chip. I mean, he's the expert, not me. Those guys are getting paid for what they do, and I'm just here enjoying it.
Now, what is your attraction to auto racing? Obviously, we've heard that you enjoy that, but what is it about racing that's got a grip on you?
I think it's anything that every little boy's dream, is to get in a car and go fast. And then this is the ultimate when you look at cars that go fast, as far as I'm concerned. It's almost like an airplane flying upside down but being pushed into the ground instead. The things these guys go through, and to watch the interaction on the racetrack, just gets you going. And when your cars, I was just telling the guys that it's nothing better than seeing our guys right next to each other, especially up in the front.
All right, Joe Montana, you heard it from him, but he said he doesn't do much, but I think the team thinks he's a good luck charm.
So also Joe Montana there, part of the Ganassi team,
Run with all the
partner in the team.
I would think you'd have a
some more
smile on your
interviews.
face, which may lead me to believe you have a problem.
Oh, no, we don't have a problem, Marty. In fact, the car is really good right now. We were a little off pace at the start of the race, but made a couple of adjustments in the pit stops, and Parker's really pleased with the car right now. A little frustrated, you know, we keep looking up. We think it's going to get brighter, and it does, and it starts to rain a little bit again. But no, we'd like to go back racing because we think there's a couple of guys up front of us that are going to have to make some different moves on what we're going to do, and we would like to get it back and go the full distance.
Guys, I'm telling you, I'm not even going to ask when he's going to stop because I'm tired of being told nobody's going to tell me. I'll tell you one thing, though. As far as the pace of this race, has he said anything about the fatigue factor? Because Parker's one of the guys that's most physically fit out here.
Well, he was working hard in the early part of the race, but that was mainly because of the car. And, you know, we've got the balance back, and he's a lot more comfortable now. But there's a lot of guys around him that are plenty fast, too, and they're pretty keen to win the race. No, we haven't talked much about that. He is fit. Pretty easy under these conditions. We want to go back to green.
So do we. Bob?
So Barry Green down there, the team boss for Parker Johnston, and the man who also looked after Jacques Villeneuve some years ago when Jacques won the championship, and talking about his driver Parker Johnston on this occasion. The first of those interviews was Bruce McCaw, who was talking about Mark Blundell, who was of course one of the very early retirements out of this race, Jeremy.
Yeah, it was a shame for Mark Blundell. He had a good run this morning in the practice session. He's been struggling to get the car up to speed, but he was certainly having a good run in the early laps. Shame he was able to go out. He was, had to go out so early. But as Bruce was saying, there's Mauricio Gujami, his teammate, in 5th place now, looking to pick up some points, move a little bit towards, further towards the front of the PPG points table.
Yes, of course, he's had a few good runs so far this year. Disappointment for him in Rio last time when he had the pole but couldn't convert that into points on that occasion when he spun out of the race. There are the positions. We've done 172 laps. There are still 63 laps to go here. Just interesting looking at the strategies as well at the moment. With 63 laps to go, the question, and as you could gather from the guys down in the pit lane, trying to find out from the team guys, when do you have to stop next? That is really the big question now, isn't it? How far can they go on the amount of fuel they've got in the cars? Yeah,
if this race goes the whole distance, no question everybody's going to have to stop again. Possibly, except for Patrick Carpentier, who came in just a few laps ago. Actually, as we see there goes Dario Franchitti. He just made a pit stop. Smart move, I think, by Dario Franchitti. If this does go green again, everybody's going to have to stop at some stage. Dario Franchitti, by just making that stop on lap 173, he will now, I'm pretty sure, be able to go the distance to the finish, assuming we go green again. So he will then cycle to the front when everybody else comes in to make their pit stops. That'll put Dario Franchitti in great shape. Carl Hogan, he's a local guy. Maybe he knows something about the weather here. He thinks he's going to clean up. Good move by Carl Hogan.
Yeah, well, we shall wait and see. Nothing to lose, as you say, because he's out of the points anyway at that stage. So let's see if that actually comes good. He's just joining onto the back of the queue now, Dario Franchitti, and the car working well all afternoon. The crowd still staying true to it. They're being patient and holding fast in the grandstands on the left-hand side of the picture there. There's the view from the blimp overhead. The Budweiser blimp is in fact generating these pictures for us, and Budweiser actually based just down the road in St. Louis.
Yeah, and good news that the blimp is still up in the air, isn't it? Because as we heard earlier on, if we saw the blimp, or if we didn't see the blimp, if the blimp had to go home, then that was a pretty good indication of some nasty weather around. So let's hope that that's a good omen, and that this is just a passing few flurries, and we'll be able to get going again, have some real racing, and sort this race out.
Yeah, that would be fantastic, because we've got a tremendous battle on our hands if it does go green again, with Andretti leading and determined to hold on to that, having got there with Vassar second, Zanardi third, Greg Moore in 4th. But don't forget, Tracy's not far down either. He's in 6th place. He's the championship leader, and he'll be looking to get as many points out of this situation as he can, particularly bearing in mind the fact that his main opposition in the title race so far, Scott Pruett, is out of this race. Great to see that interview with him just now, and again he was talking about the safety of these cars, and the safety also has been improved over the winter, over the last few months, with the design of the seats as well. We were talking about that a little bit. They're much more designed to absorb the energy of the impact, and I know that Mark Blundell was also very appreciative of that improvement when he had his accident in Homestead at the beginning of the year in testing, and he felt that redesigned seat had really helped him then too.
Yeah, regulation changes over the winter, very, very beneficial indeed. It's actually mandated into the cars there should be more crushable structure between the fuel cell and the driver's back. So clearly that is paying off here, as we've seen several times this season.